Chapter number 5 in my book, Failing Forward, says change your response to failure by accepting responsibility. Hi, John Maxwell here. I'm glad you're with me on Minute with Maxwell. For these last few days, we've been taking my book, Failing Forward, and pulling one important thought out of each chapter, and I think it's really helping the people. I would also share with you, if you like the thought, you say, hey, John, that little minute helped me, you'll really love the book. I would encourage you to get the book. Over 1 million people have, and the response has been huge. In fact, I've written 100 books. And when people come to me and they thank me for a book that I've written, undoubtedly, one of the top 10 books that people come back to me and say, I want to thank you for that book, is Failing Forward. Why? It helped people so much deal with the failures that all of us have. We don't remove failure from our life, but we do know how to handle failure so that we can be successful through it, and even sometimes in that failure. And chapter 5 says, change your response. Got to change your response to failure, and the way to do it is by accepting responsibility. I've noticed, have you ever noticed this? Maybe you're getting some food at a takeout place, and they get your order a little wrong. And you say, hey, you forgot to put the hamburger in the sack or whatever. And say they rush around, they get the hamburger in the sack, and they hand it to you. And they'll say, sorry. And every time they say sorry, I want to stop and say, I'd like to give you a little failure lesson here. Sorry isn't the right response. The right response is, I'm sorry. You know, when I just say sorry, it could be for someone else. It could be the fact that the sack was there and the person didn't put the hamburger in it and I just grabbed the sack. I don't know what sorry means, but I know what I'm sorry means. I know what I apologize means. I know what I was wrong means. I know what I'll do better next time means. I got all that. I don't got sorry. Except I think what they're saying is they're trying to reduce responsibility from their life. I think they just think if they can take the personal out of it and just say sorry, that it'll somehow not be quite as bad as it was. And when they say that sometimes to me, I just want to say, sorry for what? What's sorry recommending here? What's sorrow mean here? Now listen to me very carefully. I'm sorry. It was my responsibility. I did that wrong. What I have found, because I'm a leader, is all the time I entitle people and empower people. I give them a job, and I also empower them to go out and do that job without always coming back and checking with me, except when I find they don't take responsibility. You see, we love empowerment because empowerment means we're free. We get to kind of make our own calls and make our own decisions. And there's a wonderful freedom in empowerment, and I love everybody to be empowered. I think empowerment is one of the greatest skills of wonderful leaders. But I tell people when they're empowered, if you get the joy of people saying, good job, because you went out and did it on your own, you also have to take the downside, the responsibility of, you didn't do a good job. You have to be accountable. Because if you're not accountable, you can't learn, you can't change, and you can't grow. Trust me, if I was the manager of a fast food restaurant the first day after teaching them how to, make the food, serve the food, I'd sit down with the group and I'd say, here's what we do here in this company. If we mess up, I'm sorry. I'll do it better. Please forgive me. I'd teach them those things. It would bring great relief to the people on the other side for you to accept responsibility. And let me say this. When you accept responsibility for what you did, people gain trust in you. It doesn't hurt your image to admit that you did something wrong. They want an authentic leader, not a perfect leader. So nobody's looking for perfect. You're going to wade in failure quite often. That's not the problem. Taking responsibility for the failure, that's a problem. If you don't take responsibility for the failure, trust me, you'll fail again. And every time you fail, repeated failure is because a person didn't learn the lesson and didn't take responsibility for that failure. I hope that helps. I'm glad you've been with me today on Minute with Maxwell as we talk about failing forward.